But it's so much different. I think a lot of people just assume, we're racing on a track that'll rip your shoes off, and we're not. The big floppy tire needs that wheel speed, and that's how, over the years it's evolved into that. And NHRA has taken away prep over time to slow the cars down, to be honest with you. But the crew chiefs just figure out how to continue to make them go. Somehow, some way, that's what they do.
Well, sometimes I always worry like doing things like that only ever end up hurting the less advanced teams. You know what I mean? Like NASCAR kind of goes through the same stuff where they're like, they add these rules, but then it only hurts the low budget teams.
Right.
Because the
testing,
the speed of how you can get how up. Quick you can get the tires off and stuff like that. NASCAR is always fighting. But then the teams with the big budget just adapt quickly and they have the leg up again.
They go testing, and a lot of times, this is just like who's got the money to go test what's the latest rule. Like right now, we're coming into a season right now where the NHRA's changed the thickness of the tubing on the front half of the top fuel cars. We went from a 0.49 to an 0.58. So the cars are, in theory, should not flex as well. So they shouldn't, which flexing is
just
how
by making the front tires a little, the tube?
All the tubing thicker.
Oh, the tubing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the video.
Yeah,
so everybody knows how the cars arch.
Yep.
The top fuel cars do this going down the racetrack. So it's putting the load on the rear tire. So now the front end's going to be stiffer, so maybe it won't arch as much.
Okay. Do they allow you to test as much as you want, or do
test all you want?
Okay, because I feel like some sanctioning races, they don't allow the cars to test as much to try to rein in budgets.
At one point, NHRA did that, but they allow you to test all you want. But the truth is, you can waste your time testing if you do it by yourself. I mean, to explain that a little bit, let's say we go to South Georgia Motorsports Park. I don't want to say Braden because they're prepping that the way we're used to being prepped. But let's just say we went there by ourselves and we go out there and just fly. We absolutely are running incredible numbers. Well, with nobody there to compare it to, you really don't know is that good or bad.
Yeah, on the same prep.
On the same prep, the same day. So the majority of the NHRA teams test on Mondays after the event. Same prep, the track's still kind of similar, and usually more than one car tests. So on the flip side of running good, let's say you are just smoking the tires, you can't get down the racetrack. Well, if there's nobody there, is it you or is it the track? So almost always there's more than one car testing. Teams, for as much as we battle each other, if you're planning on testing, you might run around the pit area. Hey, are you staying? And obviously it makes the costs less too to rent the racetrack.
Yeah, but come Monday, it becomes a little less cutthroat, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You guys start to kind of
you
cool down.
Yeah, you won't share the information, but you will be able to share, they're having trouble too. Or, man, they're rolling and we're not. We need to do something.
Do you guys turn boards off for testing?
Nah.
Because then you're kind of seeing information.
Nah.
I don't know if you...
Nah.
Do you still run 1,000-foot in testing, or will you run...
Our team, for the most part, and actually the majority of my career, half track, 660 feet. That's kind of all we need to know.
All the data.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need more than that for data on a car, you're kind of
you're in trouble.
You're going the wrong direction.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
That starting line's probably 90% of it.
For us, it's not the starting line. It's going to be that 100 to 330 foot area because we're slipping the clutch so much leaving the starting line. The clutch starts applying 1 second-ish into the run.
Yeah.
And so going to 8th mile, the clutch is now pretty much came all the way in. It's applied itself. And if you've made it through there, you're pretty much good to go. The only other thing you'll really learn, and you kind of got this figured out at 8th mile, is your fuel system, out the back door basically. Is it going to stay on 8 cylinders? Is the fuel system good? But majority of the time you're testing is something new, something you're struggling with. The big budget teams, they just test. And it makes them better. But it doesn't matter if you're running 8th mile or 1,000 feet, still pretty much costs the same thing.
Yeah, those passes are probably about the same price.
Yeah.
It's just a little less likely that something's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
You can kind of keep problems to a minimum, but you're still probably tearing the motor apart just the same. You're doing clutches just the same.
Yep.
So with faster and faster cars, I noticed the starting line is almost like farther out. Like for me, the starting line is right there because there's so much going on. But for those guys where, 1 second, they're way out on me, their starting line is almost more, I guess you could kind of say, because they have to think about that 1 second over a longer part of the track where my 1 second's a little short spot on the track.
Right. I mean, again,
in 1 second, you're so far out already down the track.
Give you some quick numbers. So a top fuel car is going 100 miles an hour in 1 second. Actually, 0.8 of a second, 0.8. You're going 100. I mean, a normal 60-foot time for a top fuel car is 8:30, 8:40 in that area. But again, the nitro cars, funny cars, and dragsters, it's that 100 to 330 foot. We're accelerating so fast. The acceleration, the G meter actually, when you hit the throttle, a normal run's like 4.5 Gs, 4.5 Gs. The moment you hit the throttle.
Holy cow.
And on a really good run at 300 feet, it'll be a little over 6 Gs. So the acceleration actually continues to go up through that point, and then it kind of levels off. But you're still making positive Gs at the finish line. The things just accelerate.
I was going to say, I've been around a lot of jet cars, and those things, like, they're still accelerate. Like, they're not even into peak efficiency until they're trying to shut the car down. Because that's just how a jet operates. Like, it's not really singing until, like, it's 200, 300 miles an hour type of thing. Like, it wants to be cruising.
Yeah, that's why they don't have the ET that we do. Yeah, they're not getting going until 1,000 feet.
Exactly. They want like a runway, like an airplane. But that's what I've been around. That's probably even similar to that feel and that
continuous
kind of
acceleration.
Acceleration. But then you guys pull an insane amount of Gs when you're slowing down as well.
Oh yeah.
That's where it actually gets more scary.
It does.
In a lot of ways.
It's funny, you watch, whether it's a video from the starting line or on TV, car crosses the finish line, scoreboard lights up. You'll see your team members turn around and they're talking and headed back to the trailer, and you might be in the car going, "Oh crap, please stop," whatever's going on.
Starts to bounce around on the tires a little bit.
Around, whatever's going on, and it can be way more exciting for the driver at the finish line than it is actually going down the racetrack.
Yeah, because you go from positive Gs to negative Gs into...
According to how you open the parachutes, it's a crazy range, -4 to 11 Gs.
Holy cow.
You can hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Don Garlitz.
Yep.
Basically out of drag racing because of detached retinas, parachute testing. So I don't know how long ago, but driving into the parachutes at near 300 miles an hour. So he was actually opening the chutes and staying on the throttle till he felt them hit. Well, it detached a retina. Guy named Joe Amato, another name from the past, like 5 or 6 time NHRA world champion, neck problems, from parachutes. It's not the going, it's the stopping. Our bodies are fine with positive Gs. They're not fine with negative Gs.
So does it take almost more skill and practice to actually stop one? Or would you say it's because, like, you got to be pretty perfect on your drop on your chute and off the throttle and everything like that? Or is it so built into the car at this point?
Man,
because that almost sounds scarier. Like, getting down the track, I've done that 1,000 times in cars, but then stopping a car correctly seems scary.
It can definitely throw you. Actually, any part of the run can throw you curveballs. I mean, I've made thousands of runs in a nitro car, and I still get surprised from time to time. Stopping, man, it's to me, going and stopping. It throws you curveballs you just don't know.
And the stopping always seems crazy too, because I have mirrors. I can kind of feel what's going on, but like I see cars in other lanes, bumping into each other, tangling up in chutes, things like that, where those curveballs you can't prepare for somebody in your parachutes at 1,000 feet.
Exactly.
And we've seen that hundreds of times at this point. And